Hi everyone, it's time to create again. So today I'd like to focus on how to create volume in your drawing, how to make something look like you could reach down and pick it up. I have a painting here that was done by Julie Marks Blackstone. She is a professor here in Shawnee and an amazing artist. She teaches over at OBU. If you look at this painting very closely, this wonderful painting of vegetables, she painted the celery, the carrots, the onions, but the carrots in particular look like you could just reach down and pick them up. But if you look really closely at them, she did a couple of things to make these look rounded and have dimension. As she did her painting, she put in some lines, and every single one of these lines is curved like the shape of the carrot. And they're just a small impression of lines, but these lines make this shape look rounded, look like a cylinder, okay? Something that you could pick up. So today we're going to do a little exercise that will help us to make our flat paper look like some of the lines are coming up off the page and almost make it look kind of like fabric, like it's three-dimensional. So I wanted to show you this painting, and now we're going to get started on creating our drawing. Okay, we're going to get started. The first thing that you're going to need is a sheet of paper. My sheet of paper is about 9 by 12. Really, your paper can be any size. And I'm going to use just a regular water-based marker to do my lines. You can use something more permanent if you like, but you can even use just a pencil or a ballpoint pen. You can use a colored pencil, but it's all up to you. I'm just going to use my water-based marker, and I'm going to start by putting a dot in the center of my paper. Now you can move your dot off center if you'd like, but it needs to be kind of in this range here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a line, kind of a curved line going up from my dot, and then here I'm going to come down and kind of go the other direction. So it's kind of like almost like a little S shape. Then I'm going to go from my dot up, and then here, back down, got an X. Here, up, and over to here. So I'm kind of doing a star kind of shape. Come up here, and then down over here. Here. Always returning to that center spot. Here. Here. Now if you look at your paper, you might have bigger spaces and between some of your lines than I do. Some of your spaces might be a little bit wider. Some of them might be a little bit narrower. And if that's the case, that's okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some curved lines using these two lines here to start with as a guide. I want to show you one that I've started, and I actually took and started at the very center and curved my lines going up every time the line was going up. So I'm going to start that right here, and I'm going to take my water-based marker using just the tip, and I'm going to just start to curve my lines up. Kind of start at the same spot. You just need to concentrate as you do this. You want to keep your lines very close together at the start and further apart as you reach the top of the hill. as you're working close together at the start and at the end, and further apart at the top of the hill. You can see that this is starting to take form. Oh, that one was kind of, I wasn't concentrating there as much. That's okay. Can you see the form starting to pop off the page? Starting to develop here? Okay, kind of missed on a few of them here. So I'm going to continue on this all the way to the edge of my paper. And right here now, if you look, I've kind of run out of room. Okay, I've hit the top here. So now I'm going to start close together here, always close together at the start, and kind of reach out. So it's kind of curves and fills up the whole paper. Now I'm going to do the next one. You can change colors if you'd like. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep going with my purple, and I'm going to start here. Again, very small, fine defined lines at the very start, and you're going to keep going. You're going to use this process with each of the spaces around your spiral here until you have them all filled in. And what you're going to find is this is going to look really interesting when you're finished. It's going to actually have some dimension to it. It's almost like I could reach down and pick up this fabric or this section right here. So it went from being very, very flat to having dimension. And that dimension was caused just by drawing lines. I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. Okay, I've been working quite a while on trying to fill in all of my spaces, and as I was working, I finally reached this point. I've got this all filled in up here, and then I just filled in a few of them down here. And I think I'm going to leave these blank. For some reason, I just feel like I need to do that. I don't feel like they need to be filled in. And in fact, I think it might make it look more interesting if I leave them blank. So as you look at your piece, you can decide how you want to complete yours. Are you going to fill everything in or just parts of it? After I get it to the point where I think I'm getting finished here, I'm going to do a little bit more with the shading. You can see that when the lines come together here and they're really close, it almost makes it look like it is indenting into the paper. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of shading, and I'm going to use a dark color and then a lighter color as well, right on top of my marker. So as I'm looking at this, I chose green. Now I know green is kind of across from each other on the color wheel. It's still a cool color, but I'm going to take my green and I'm just going to start to shade, going fairly dark at this end. Sometimes I'm going to actually rotate my paper here. I want to kind of go in the direction that the lines were originally going in. So it's going to be this way, kind of going up like this, following those lines. So I'm going to just do one of them here, going pretty dark as I keep on going. And I can kind of touch this part up later, but I'm going to, again, make it darker near that bottom crease there. And as I come up, I'm going to start shading just a little bit lighter. It's going to be darker in here. And then come up and go lighter. Now I'm going to do that on the other side too. So I'm going to rotate my paper this direction. I'm going to make it darker here. I really like the stark white next to this. I'm going to go darker near the edge. And you can see the marker through the colored pencil, which is kind of a nice effect. At least I like it. Okay, and then I'm going to go a little bit lighter. And you can see that made it even more intense. I'm going to take my lighter green and I'm going to kind of blend it on the edges here. And give it it's kind of almost a yellowish green. It's introducing a little bit of a different color. And this area right here, I'm going to continue to leave white. I don't think I'm going to color that in. And you can go right over the pencil marks here. Just going to leave that like that. So you can see it kind of changed the look of my drawing. Now, as you go through this, you can take and you can do each one of these a different color, each section, or you can do all, kind of them the same. It's totally up to you as to how you finish this off. I'm going to work on this a bit, and when I come back, I'll show you my finished piece. And here we are. I'm all finished, except for my signature, which I need to put on there. Remember to sign your work. I hope that you are successful in creating dimension using line and value in your work. So get started, be creative, and have a good day.